Rick and Morty has become a staple in everyone's home. From the interdimensional cable TV to the insane adventures, we just can't get enough. This show is as crazy and brilliant as they come. We're constantly left with more questions than answers. So we've compiled some pretty awesome theories here today. But before we get started, make sure you take a quick moment to click on that subscribe button. It'll take you to another dimension where you'll stay up to date with all of our latest videos. Here's some emoji. Do you think you can tell us what movie they represent? Stay to the end to find out if you were right. Now let's get Swifty.
You gotta get Swifty. You gotta get Swifty in here.
Rick has a different Morty. With all the different universes we've seen in Rick and Morty, we can't help but go crazy with theories about our favorite duo. There's so many possibilities, especially considering that there are tons of different Ricks and Mortys.
Hey, what do you know? It's a cowboy version of me.
Jeez, you're easy to impress.
One theory suggests that when we first meet Rick, it's stated that he's been out of Beth's life for the past 20 years. In Close Encounters of the Rick Kind, we see that Rick has memories of picking up Morty when he was a baby. But wait, that math doesn't add up. Morty's a 14-year-old kid in high school. It's possible that Rick snuck in to see his grandson at some point. Or this Rick is from a different universe. What happened to the Morty that Rick left behind?
A free replacement Morty in the event that your current Morty should... guys, not a good time. Come on, Morty, let's hit it.
The true identity of evil Morty. We see a picture of Rick holding up baby Morty in Bird Person's house, and candidate Morty turns out to be evil Morty, who is able to convince all the genius Ricks to give him all the power. One theory suggests that evil Morty is actually Rick's original Morty, and that we've already seen what happened to original Morty in the opening credits montage. There's a part where we see Rick jumping into a portal and leaving Morty behind to be devoured by reptilian monsters. That's harsh, even for Rick, right? It could be an innocent, funny bit, but if Rick left him to die, it could explain why he's so protective of the current Morty. And if this Morty did survive, he could have grown to resent Rick and gone on to become evil Morty, who could have held a grudge so strong it led him to want to wipe out all Ricks from existence. It's shocking to hear evil Rick's disbelief that Rick is crying over Morty. This means he believes that all Ricks are incapable of feelings towards all Mortys. Hell hath no fury like a Morty scorned. The Cronenberg baby is Morty. As if the show wasn't dark enough, we've got another little tidbit for you. Remember when Unity breaks up with Rick and he's even more depressed than usual? This theory suggests that the baby Cronenberg thing that Rick pulls out of his lab is actually the original baby Morty. We see it start to cry and Rick tries to console it before he disintegrates it. We saw that it had a skeleton vaguely resembling a human, and the only time Rick ever truly has shown emotion has involved Morty. So why did Rick euthanize the baby creature before attempting it on himself? It was because the little blob was originally baby Morty, who was put in stasis until Rick could find a cure. And after going through Rick Potion number 9 and getting to a point where he could no longer take it, his final kindness was to take out the tiny Cronenberg Morty. Now that is a whole other level of dark, don't you think? Rick knows he's on TV. Everyone loves a rule breaker, especially when it comes to our favorite TV or movie characters. Take Deadpool, for example. We love it when he talks to us. In Rick and Morty, we have our constant rule breaker, Rick Sanchez. One theory suggests that he knows that he's a protagonist on a TV show. In Season 1, he broke the fourth wall by telling us he was going to start using a catchphrase.
Wubba-lubba-dub-dubs! Yeah! That's my new thing. I'm kind of like, what's his name? Arsenio.
Let's not forget how much he loves interdimensional cable. And he ends Season 1 by saying,
"That's Season 1! Boom! Season 1, I'm in your face!"
Rick deliberately breaks the fourth wall numerous times throughout the show because Rick recognizes that somewhere out there, there's a dimension in which he is a TV character. And maybe that's why he's so depressed, because he's figured out that that's his purpose. His catchphrase does mean, "I am in great pain, please help me," in Bird Person's language. This would also explain why Rick empathizes with his butter robot when he's distraught by his purpose in life.
Oh my god.
Yeah, welcome to the club, pal.
What's in the flask? It goes without saying that Rick has a drinking problem. We're sure by now you've wondered, what the heck is in his flask? The first thing that comes to mind is obviously alcohol, but there's a theory that says otherwise. Let's go back to the first episode, in which the goal is to get some mega seeds. They succeed in their mission until they dissolve in Morty's butt. The good news is, it gave him super intelligence. The bad news is that it was temporary, and afterwards he loses all motor and brain function for a few days. This theory suggests that the reason that Rick wants the seeds so bad is because he he's developed a formula that increases his intelligence at a measured rate, and because he's constantly ingesting it, he can keep most of the side effects at bay. It does make sense that Rick would want to have the upper hand over all the other Ricks, but there are others who disagree and say it subverts Rick's natural intelligence. Miss Frizzle is Rick's ex-wife. So we saw a glimpse of Mrs. Sanchez in Season 3, but it turns out that it was a fabricated memory that Rick created. Mrs. Sanchez may or may not have looked like that, so this theory could work. It suggests that Rick married Miss Frizzle of the Magic School Bus fame. We know this sounds like a far-fetched notion, but it makes so much sense. Miss Frizzle is totally the kind of person that Rick would be into. She loves science and advanced technology. Plus, we all know how much Rick loves redheads. They'd be great for each other, but let's face it, it could never last. And it didn't. Miss Frizzle is a huge advocate for learning and the education system. She loves teaching after all. Rick has made it a well-known fact that he hates school. It's suggested that Rick and Frizz had a son and that he is the Magic School Bus himself. Weird, right? But remember, Rick implanted Morty with nanobots that could turn Morty into a car in an emergency.
Morty, concentrate and turn into a car, Morty! Never mind, here's a taxi. Get in, it's fine.
Maybe the inciting incident was that Rick was working on perfecting the tech and something went totally wrong. We wonder if Beth can turn into a car too.
Pickle Rick!
Well, there you have it, friends. What did you think of these Rick and Morty theories? Do you have any of your own? Are there any that we missed? Let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and share it with your friends. Also, check out more videos like this on our playlist. One last thing. If you played our emoji quiz today and answered, then you were right. As always, thanks for watching. Stay Swifty.